Bing.
We are live. This is Literary Roadhouse. One short story once a week. I'm Anais.
I'm Gerald.
And I'm Rami.
And this week we're reading Birdsong by Jahnavi Barua, an Indian author of literary acclaim who has won the Man Asian Literary Prize, which is not discontinued, but she won it when it was happening. This story is very, very short, and we highly recommend reading it, then returning to the discussion. A link is provided in the show notes. In Birdsong, a woman who enjoys bird watching and bird photography follows a scarlet minivet through the wilderness up a hill into the woods. As her angry husband follows her, he insists on an answer she must choose. The photographer reflects on her loveless marriage, which, while not violent, feels nonetheless cruel. Still, her husband has her doubting whether or not she can manage without him, and her mother insists divorce is not an option. The photographer decides to stay with him and is about to say so when the scarlet minivet's yellow mate joins him on a branch, and the two birds snuggle each other happily. Instead, the photographer says, "Let's get a divorce."
Yay. I think your summary was longer than the story.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think of the story overall?
I liked it. I was a bit confused by it, and the ending. I couldn't get the ending. I don't know if I still have, but overall, yeah, I liked it. I liked her writing. It's very good.
Rami?
I always feel comforted when I'm not the only one that's confused. Thank you, Gerald. No, until I heard your summary, and I was ready to say this story kind of went over my head, and I was waiting for some clarification, but kind of get it now, yeah.
Okay. I really liked it. It's one of those stories that is so simple and so short that it's just tightly written. Like, the craft of it is very tight. The way that it unfolds, the initial question of what's going on here, then you figure out what's going on here, and the way that she weaves in the setting into what's happening in her internal thoughts and her internal monologue, and then boop, she makes a decision externally. It is just something so like if you are an aspiring writer and you want to learn craft stuff, just read the story. There's a lot of stuff in here that you can just dissect. It's so tightly written and just yeah, it's one of those like, yep, this is a master who knew exactly what she wanted to write, and she put it out in exactly the form it needed to be in less than 1,000 words and got that point across. So
yeah, I think she was she does a lot of showing, not telling, which is excellent. So you pick up on the story, but like Rami said, it's almost as if I felt when I was reading it, I thought, is that it? What am I missing here? It's sort of, because the writing is so good that you're sort of looking for maybe things that aren't there. I don't know, but on the face of it, yeah, it's a nice little story.
So Rami, you said you think it went over your head, or you had felt it went over your head. So why is that? What are the things that you think confused you?
I guess I didn't catch on, like, that they were at that level of like, ending the relationship. I guess, yeah, with stories when you're kind of just thrown in there, it took me a little bit to realize, like, okay, are they trying to exactly separate, or like what's, like, the story behind it. But I guess, to some extent it's not super necessary to know it. All the backdrop and stuff.
Yeah. And I think for me, the part that I liked about it was sometimes when you dwell too much on a character's internal thoughts, it can feel amateurish, and this one didn't. Like sometimes when an author who's sort of just starting out, just figuring out their voice, relies too heavily on a character's internal thoughts, which is not what this author did. I'm just saying, like, when you come across that out there, when you're reading like someone's like first draft or something, and they feel they need to communicate to the reader certain information, so they're like, this character thought these things that you need to know right now, like exposition through thoughts, even though that is what's happening in the story, it doesn't feel like it. That's why I'm saying there's a lot of like craft stuff to learn from this story.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's really well put together. I think it's it is kind of strange. It's the sort of thing that you can read and reread and reread, not necessarily get anything else out of it, but get an appreciation for her as a writer. I think that I mean, the first time through, I enjoyed reading it, and I thought that, and I liked the things she was dropping in about the sort of backstory of her relationship with her husband, and then looking for more, you're sort of there's not much more, if you know what I mean, but you just appreciate the writing more, I think.
And I think it's maybe one of those stories.
Well, guess who didn't start his recording? Sorry.
Oh, really? Even before the 10 seconds of silence?
Oh, no.
Well, just do it now so that then we only have to rip the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Better than ripping the whole thing.
Okay. Fool.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's on now?
Yeah, it's on now.
Okay. So what I was saying was, well, can you recap quick what you said? I just lost the train of thought.
Reading the story through first, it was I got an appreciation for how she could write, and I liked what she was dropping in with good examples of showing, not telling. So you learn a lot about her relationship with her husband. And on rereading it, I reread it a couple of times. I got nothing more from the story other than a better appreciation for her craft and her skills at writing.
I think part of why, because I'm feeling a little bit like that too, like maybe I just wanted a different theme or a different point explored, because so what is this story about? To me, it's a little bit about like the changing attitudes of marriage and the expectations of marriage. For her mother, divorce isn't an option. He doesn't hit you. You have a kid together and he provides, even if he doesn't do anything else that's good enough. And for her, it's like, no, I want to be loved. I want somebody who looks at me like I'm their treasure, right? And I guess maybe from the context that all of us are coming from, it's like, yeah, we know, right? Like, yeah, we've been knowing that. But in the cultural context that this was written in, or for the class that it was written in, or the society that it was written for that audience, maybe there is still something to be said there about attitudes towards marriage, especially after you have kids. I think there's I think through even a lot of Latin cultures where it's like, if you're married but you don't have kids and you pitch divorce, everyone's a bit like, okay. But as soon as you have kids, it changes everything, right? So I wonder if that's part of it. If the reason why for us this particular theme, this particular lesson isn't grabbing us, is because for us it's like, yeah, we agree. Thank you for leaving him, right?
Yeah, because he didn't come across as the. I mean, and if anything, I suppose she sort of laboured that part of it, that even down to the struggling up the hill, and he was, you just get the feeling that he was pretty useless as a husband, and he just wanted to watch cricket all day, which is not a bad thing, but.
Which is exactly what her mother says. Her mother says he's not bad, and then everything's right, but that doesn't mean he's good either. He's just not bad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's the thing, isn't it? She's obviously creative. She's obviously a lover of nature, so she seems to be the sort of person who's not going to settle for okay. She seems to be the sort of person that wants something better from life.
And not just that, but there's a few things in there where it's like, but maybe he is bad. Like when she was sick with dengue and he's still kind of ignoring her and stuff like that. He isn't making it worse, but he doesn't care. And for qualities in a husband, caring about wife when she's sick is a pretty low bar to clear. But again, like you said, he's not the worst thing ever. He's not some vicious villainous character. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's even when she goes up the hill and she pushes past him to the steps of the base of the small hill, she runs up the steps easily. He follows. She can hear him cursing as he pants his way up slowly. So you think she's painting him as a pretty useless kind of guy, really. And I wonder whether maybe that's a little bit overdone. He's and she says that he's confident that and cocky that she won't be able to bring up the child on her own. So it's like, you know, she keeps on telling us that he's not that good a father or a husband.
It's funny. I didn't feel the point was belabored. I was like, yeah, I kind of get that kind of sort of patriarchal figure in a society that has very like rigid gender norms, like, which again might be coming from, you know, different cultural context. Like, I can see this guy in a certain type of much older generation Latino men, like not my generation, and even my dad's is better, but like my grandfather's generation, I'm like, yeah, I see it, you know, like I get it, I get. So that's why I'm wondering, like, if part of this is just like transplanting ourselves to a different attitude about like marriage, and then when the men are hearing those messages about marriage, how that shapes their behavior. This guy's only doing this because he knows he can get away with it.
Yeah. And it's probably learned behavior as well. It's probably what he saw when he was growing up.
Yeah.
From his father, and it seems that her mother is the same. That she probably had to sort of make do with that sort of behavior, and treat that as the norm.
Yeah.
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 So what about the ending though? See, that's what confused me, and that's to a certain extent I still don't get that. Which is, which is why does she's about to say, you know, no, I don't want a divorce. Then she sees the birds and sees the two birds come together, and she says, yeah, let's get a divorce.
I love that ending. That's funny. I loved it because, you know, she is deciding against leaving him for all these cerebral, human, cultural reasons. Just like, because can I get by? We have a kid, this and that, and divorce. It's so unseemly. He's not that bad. All these things that she's telling herself, all the doubts that he's put in her, all the things her mother is saying. And then she just sees very simply just these two birds. The female lands in the branch beside the male. The male cuddles up next to her. She nuzzles him. And she's like, I just want that. Like, why? I just don't want that. That's why it says unexpectedly she is desolate. Her chest tightens. Because she knows if she just came up beside her husband, he wouldn't snuggle up next to her.
Okay. Okay.
I loved it.
I was expecting her to think, oh yes, I do, because her choice is to stay with him or to get a divorce and leave him, in which case she will then be separated and single, and it's kind of the opposite of where she is now. But I could also see the fact that she wanted something better as well.
After I read the story, my boyfriend was sitting on the couch working on some stuff, and I just sat next to him, see what he'd do, and his arm automatically just like draped. He didn't even look up, just like an automatic thing, and I was like, exactly.
Testing him out, eh?
That's
testing him
right.
by the yardstick.
Yeah, I even told him, I was like, see, if that had played out differently, thin ice, mister. According to the story I just read, and then I told him the story.
Very good.
Laughed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie, did you understand the ending the way I said it, or did you see it differently?
Yeah, no, I got that part.
Did you like it? Did you think it was pretty?
It's a happy ending.
Well,
not.
No, yeah, I think it's an empowering ending, but I'm thinking maybe from my own personal experiences that this is it's kind of a trope about everything you said, how the older generation is has like a higher tolerance for neglect. I don't know how best to put it. And the younger generations want more, and I don't know, like, the circumstances of how they even started their relationship, whether it was arranged or by choice and all these other factors.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but it feels like a trope, because I do think the cultures that the three of us come from have already belabored this point of like marriage should be more than a transactional thing. Like, woman runs household, has kids, is financially provided for, and so we've already moved beyond this sort of transactional view of marriage. Not that it was always, I'm not saying that even back in the day all marriages were transactional, no, but just that at their base, if the transaction is working, then you should not get a divorce. If you have things that are more than the transaction, like love and companionship, you were lucky. That was good. Those were perks, right? And we've changed that. We're like, no, maybe the core should be like love and other things that just make you feel good and happy. And if the transaction is the perk.
But I guess it was kind of difficult for me to picture the situation. So were all three of them just walking together in the woods?
The mom's not there.
Because I thought, see, that's what I mean. I thought that because when it says the mother went on, I thought the mom was walking with them.
No, those are like flashbacks, because also she's thinking about that her mom had also said, I'll watch Neil, that's their son. You guys go off on a vacation and solve everything. So this is that vacation that's supposed to solve everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I missed that part. Okay.
That's funny. I didn't, because she doesn't signpost those switches in a very obvious way, but I didn't get lost either. I thought it were pretty, I don't even know how she did it. I'd have to go back and like analyze it a little bit more deeply, like how she did that back and forth. Yeah, because she doesn't do it at all. He is behind her, stumbling and swearing. She feels a frisson of anger. He's not bad, darling, her mother always said. I guess that's what it is. That's what it is. Everything in the past is past tense. Everything right now is in present tense.
Yeah.
That's how she did it.
And her mother had urged them to come away for this weekend. I will take care of Neil, she had said. So there's that sort of, tense related signposting.
Because everything else that she's feeling and thinking right now is in the present.
Yeah.
From the corner of her eye, she sees. Now she saw. Yeah. From a craft perspective, I thought this was great.
Yeah.
Very,
very good. Very, very good. Yeah.
Yep. But there isn't much more to say. That's one of the things, which I'm okay with a short episode. Short story, short episode's fine by me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think she, as Rami says, it's empowering and it's good to see that she did feel empowered to sort of to stand up to him and stand up to the trope or the normal circumstances of what is expected from her life. And I think the fact that she's out and about looking at birds and photographing them shows that she's got an interest, a solid interest outside the marriage and outside the family. So she comes across as an independent woman. So, yeah. And also, like, it's bookended really nice. It starts with, so what have you decided? And it ends with, let's get a divorce. Like it's framed very well. Just a lot of it is just very, from a writing craft perspective. Like I feel like if you're learning how to write, there's a lot of things here that you can learn that are just great. Yeah. The way that she slowly unspools what the story's about too. Yeah, and the husband makes the bird disappear, and he grabs her and makes a trip and all that sort of stuff. He's useless, isn't he? She's well rid of him.
Yeah. So are we ready to rate it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Straight
Go for it. Start us off.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, because it's one of those things where like, it's so well written, but I don't know. Like I said, for us, it's a little bit like, okay, I guess, you know what? Because it is so well written, I carried all the way through it, and I was able to appreciate what she's doing as she's doing it, and it was intellectually stimulating for me in a different way. Normally, I like the emotional roller coaster. This didn't have an emotional roller coaster, but had an intellectual one. Like, I'm like, I see what you did there. And I like that. So I'm going to give it 5.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Whoa.
I think we've shocked poor Rami
Left
here.
and right coming in. I gotta dodge them. Oh.
Oh dear.
I'm sticking with a 3 for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rami, we have tough grader.
You have to be a pretty fine writer to get a good mark out of Rami, that's for sure.
So let's move on to the quiz, because I feel like I learned so much. So Jahnavi Barua won the Man Asian Literary Prize, which is like a subset of the Man Booker, or it was. It discontinued it because now the Man Booker is international for anything written in English. Okay. I learned so much about the Man Booker Prize. I'm like, my jaw dropped in several points. Okay, just unexpected. So for example, The Man Booker Prize is awarded by the Man Group, or they're the ones who pay for the foundation that does it. Gerald might actually know this one because this is all British, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does.
Maybe.
Wait, the quiz is about the prize?
A bunch of stuff about the prize, yeah. The first question's easy probably for Gerald. You get to guess.
Go on.
Trust me. You'll see. Gerald's first on my screen. So, Gerald.
Yeah. Are we going to nominate stories?
Oh, yes, nominate stories. What stories are we reading?
I'm going to go back. I'm going to try for Black Power by Noviolet Bulawayo.
Okay. Rami?
The Bet by Anton Chekhov.
Ooh.
Okay. So let me actually get a better marker going here so I can score keep.
Just give it to Gerald.
No,
I don't have a chance with this. No, it's more about mine.
It's an international. It's like your World Series of Baseball. It's a multinational.
So
okay,
Gerald, what is the Man Group? Is it an international book distributor and royalty manager, a global supplier of paper and cardboard goods for business and industrial use, a global hedge fund?
Oh, none of those.
So
None of
is
the
it
above.
like the company in The Office?
Yeah. I had something completely different. The second one.
Nope, it's a global hedge fund.
No.
Yes. You can go to the Wikipedia. Yep.
How do you spell man?
M-A-N, like a man. It's someone's last name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it would be like M-A-N-N-E or something.
No. So hold on. Let me go back to this Wikipedia page because it used to be something else. So maybe that's why. So it's an active management business initially founded as a sugar cooperage. So they used to make sugar barrels and stuff, and a brokerage by James Mann in 1783, a long time ago. But today, it's the largest publicly traded hedge fund company. Wow. What the heck? I did not expect that. Yeah.
Because I thought because there's a truck manufacturer called MAN, so I thought it was that, but it's obviously not.
Nope.
Or like Dunder Mifflin.
For number 2, yeah. So Rami, the Man Group is headquartered in London. In 2017, in 2017, it reported how much in funds under management? 10.7 billion.
Easy.
56.8 billion or 103.5 billion.
What was the second one?
56.8.
Largest publicly traded hedge fund in the world. Oh, I'll go with the third one.
Yeah, 103.5 billion. Yep.
Yeah.
Wild. Okay, Gerald.
Yeah.
When did the Man Group start awarding the Man Booker Literary Prize? Was it 2002, 1992, 1982?
I think it was 1992.
2002.
Oh, I was going to say that too. Oh.
What's Booker for?
We're getting there.
Oh.
But that's when the Man Group took over the award. It was previously called the Booker McConnell Prize after Booker McConnell, some other company, which began sponsoring the award. So the original Booker Award began in what year? 1959, 1969, 1979.
Oh, let's see. The Booker was giving it out first.
59, 69, 79.
I'll go with 69.
Yeah, 69.
What? This is a setup. Wow.
Yep.
Very good.
Gerald.
Go on.
What is the Lost Man Booker Prize Award? Was an award given to someone long-listed but not short-listed by popular vote, an award given in 2010 to a book published in 1970, An award given to Commonwealth writers who published outside the Commonwealth.
Or an award given to writers lost at sea.
What?
So, someone long-listed, not shortlisted,
Yeah.
won by popular,
Yeah.
or 2010 to 1970, or Commonwealth who published outside the Commonwealth.
Outside the Commonwealth.
Nope. It was an award in an award given out in 2010 to a book published in 1970. Because so originally the Man Booker, well, not even Man Booker, it was just the Booker Prize. It would do for books that were published the previous year. But then in 1971, they changed it to that same year. So 1970 never got a shot because when the 1970 happened, it was 69. So in 2010, they're like, wait a minute, no 1970 published books got a Booker Prize. So they did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, Anais.
The things I learned.
Great quiz. Great quiz. Except I'm losing. Never mind.
Right. So, Rami, who won the Lost Man Booker Prize? Was it Troubles by J.G. Farrell, The Bay of Noon by Shirley Hazard, or The Vivisector by Patrick White?
Troubles.
It was Troubles. How are you 3 for 3, Rami? Oh.
This is when I'm actually trying.
Wow.
No, I know nothing about it, so I decided to use the full extent of my guessing abilities before
Very
it was
good.
just 50%.
Wow.
Wow. Well, the tiebreaker, I'll just tell you what it was. But so what's the average number of books in modern times that the judges consider every year? So how many books they have to read every year to consider them for the prize is 130.
Whoa.
No.
Wow.
I know. And the way that books get nominated, it's 2 from every in-print publisher at a publishing house. But if you have ever been nominated before, you can be nominated again on top of that. And editors can just write people in that they think were overlooked. So anyone.
Basically, yeah.
Basically, anyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
But not self-published, because that ain't going to happen.
Not self-published.
No.
No.
Tell me about it.
Mm.
But anyway.
The struggles.
No, not that I would, but yes, yeah. Wow. And the long list, they have to read the long list. And some of those books are pretty damn tricky.
Yeah, and long.
130 books.
Mm-hmm.
But who's on the committee?
So I learned all these things. There's an advisory committee that's it's like they come from publishers, academic circles, then the advisory committee that changes every year picks a judging panel that changes every year that includes like critics, book writers, and like just famous people.
Yeah, but I was asking because I'm pretty sure this judging panel is compensated.
I don't know, actually. I didn't find that one out.
They would be, and if they need to come together, they should be provided a hotel room.
Wow.
The hotel with breakfast.
Gosh. Yeah, you tell them, Robbie. it's that you. I mean, I know you don't drink, Robbie, so I can't accuse you of being drunk, especially first thing in the morning.
Just having a little bit of fun.
He's very passionate about the Man Booker right now.
I can see that. Crikey.
So, Rami, what are we reading next week?
Next week, we'll be reading The Bet by Anton Chekhov.
Okay. But before you go, stalk us through the wilderness of literary commentary on the internet. Share your thoughts on Twitter at Lit Roadhouse or in our Facebook group for fans, the Literary Roadhouse readers, or our website, literaryroadhouse.com. That closed Facebook group I just mentioned has a pretty steady flow of users joining each week, but it still remains small. It's perfect for someone who wants a deeper, more intimate discussion. It's also the best way to hear back from us directly and to make story recommendations. So, having shed a deadweight spouse, have you suddenly found yourself with more free time, not less? Well, we have a new hobby for you. Join the Literary Roadhouse Book Club, where we discuss full fiction novels every month. This Friday, we publish our discussion of Sing, Unburied Sing by Jessamine Ward. Lastly, the narrator will get by just fine without her husband, but we can't get by without the generous support of listeners like you. Support us on patreon.com/Literary Roadhouse. Every bit helps. And as always, share this podcast with the birds who give you excellent marriage advice. Until next time, read a good story.